I wanted to get started on the Epstein files real quick. So, as we were talking about earlier, Jeffrey Epstein, innocent. Finally, the truth has come out.
Exonerated.
He was just...
It's a shame he killed himself. He was suffering. Check on your friends, folks.
Yeah.
All right, check on your depressed friends.
Check on your billionaire file friends.
They just let him rot, and it was the guilt of knowing he was going down as an innocent man who never had sex with children or trafficked them.
And who had no leverage whatsoever. A guy who just, who had no, who didn't know anything about anybody. Who was really, when you think about it, perfectly disposable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you know?
Yeah.
What do you know?
I do love the argument that they're presenting now, though, which is that, no, you don't understand. He was like a fiend. He loved doing pedophilia just for himself.
Just for him.
And he
had a whole island just to... He couldn't them in his townhouse.
And when he flew people, this is actually a big misconception. He wasn't flying people to chill with them. He was flying them to get them away from him.
Get him away.
Exactly. Exactly.
So he could all the
big misconception.
What's the
Well, those were all the heroes that might have stopped his pedophilia.
Yeah,
Trump, Chris Tucker. They would have stopped. They were so stridently anti-pedophile.
But then
he needed them on an island so he could kids in America.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys don't know about that stuff.
Palm Beach, Little St. James,
Yeah.
It was actually perfectly cool. That weird little room or whatever. Remember that with the gold dome or whatever?
Of course.
Actually, just a yoga room.
Just a place.
Just a place
to stretch.
Guy.
Yeah. But I do like the argument that they're presenting now, which is that he was the one who was just sexually abusing thousands of victims
with his little egg-shaped penis.
Yeah, and nobody else. Make no mistake. After years and years of being there are hard drives, terabytes of footage of all of the blackmail that he had accrued over the years, but also simultaneously this implies that former Prime Minister of Israel Ehud Barak in 2016 was just visiting him because he's a chill guy.
He's a cool guy.
What the?
And he didn't know he was a pedophile. He was just he loves math because, as we all know, Epstein, one of the great mathematicians of our time. And, they were probably just talking about theorems and that kind of stuff.
One kid, two kid, three kid. No, I think with part of what I was actually in a Hulu documentary about Victoria's Secret.
Oh, hell yeah.
And my bit as a talking head was to talk about Epstein's relationship with the guy who owned Victoria's Secret, Les Wexner. And how essentially part of what one of the angles that the documentary took, and that Epstein was the counterparty. He was partners with and had transacted huge cumulatively seemingly in the billions of dollars of transactions, and it's all really murky. But they're with people who are Leon Black at Apollo, a very powerful person in the world of private equity. Les Wexner, who was the head of these the Limited, which owned Victoria's Secret and other stuff. And it's all right. So nobody's really good at talking about or understanding the extent of what his financial activities were that generated these things.
Yeah.
But he was just really good at trafficking kids for himself.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no connection there that he had all this income.
Well, he's probably just a really good day trader. You know, he probably just was smart.
He was probably early on E-Trade.
He was early on E-Trade.
He taught at Dalton, and he met really smart bros there. It was hey, tips.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence that he trafficked hundreds, if not thousands, of children, and that he, at the same time, through a completely separate way, made millions of dollars.
Yeah, no, that's just...
If you have thousands of individual victims that are children and young adults and whatnot going in and out of your homes, okay, and you also simultaneously are constantly engaging with some of the elite in society. At some point, they're gonna see the kids.
Right.
Nothing adds up.
Yeah.
In this story, and I like the idea that they're just trying to move away from this now. They're don't ask any questions. This is what I wanted to talk about because yesterday people started getting really frustrated because they have tuned up their audiences to basically really care about this for understandable reasons. I think it's an important story, but now they're basically going, oh, well, we're in power, and also some of our faves are implicated here. So
exactly.
Shut the fuck
up.
up.
Exactly right.
Well, I mean, I think ultimately though, it's not gonna. I wish it would matter. It doesn't fucking matter. They don't give a.
I think this might actually cause a little bit of fissure in the Trump base.
I mean, I don't think by itself it does, but I think it does indicate that, like, for example, like, look, like, most people who voted for Donald Trump, like, they probably even like Israel or whatever. I don't think that they signed up for, like, endless blood funnel.
Sure.
And, like, the same goes for, like, they didn't sign, you know, like, they were, you know, like, they all fell for it in different ways, but, like, I don't think any of them individually are going to be, like, the thing that breaks the dam in any meaningful way. But, like, over time, like, especially, like, once Trump goes...
Once
like,
Trump goes, it's all
exactly. Like
yes,
it just shows how shallow this is.
Yeah,
that,
that's
like
definitely
none of
true.
this. Like the most durable thing is like it's like this guy's big victories.
Yeah.
You know, on vaccines. Like it's like
Which
that.
they don't even really give a
about, you know, and molesting the money and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this clearly was. I mean, you're right, because this is the one thing that kind of kept the. This is the one thing that unites everyone, because it's like QAnon. It's like anti-establishment. It's like, you know, whatever you want to say. Everyone is anti-Semites. A big part of the base. It unites fucking everybody. But I agree with you. It might not be. It's not enough on its own. I just feel like. I don't know, man. We've seen it. Nothing stops this.
It is, but it is like, I think part of like what it breeds, which is like, you know, like Trump and right and like all those people, like they rose in response to like incredibly cynical times. Mm-hmm. They themselves, like the cynicism that they then practice is like having like the same effect on like the people who are like not politically of age yet, but who might otherwise be like raging conservative. Like to me, it's all just like part of like the gradual process of which like, yeah, like an intellectually and like morally bankrupt thing, like, you know, burns itself out. On evil or whatever it is, you know. Like, I mean, to be reductive about it.
Felix has an alternative approach. Natalie Wynn, ContraPoint, says, people are really not familiar with the basic facts of the Epstein case. All the victims who testified at Maxwell's trial said they were trafficked to Epstein himself, who abused them with Maxwell's assistance. And Felix also doubles down. Says, yup. Source of his wealth, he won the lottery every day. His extensive contacts in multiple governments, he met them randomly on Omegle. The internal JP Morgan emails, creepypasta.
Okay, so it's also like funny to like single out Ghislaine Maxwell there because like she radiates like a glow rod, like, you know, even more than he does in a lot of ways.
She's like a generational spy. Like she comes from like her father was the OSS. Like it's not like
Wait, she's in jail right now?
Yeah. Also innocent.
Free her. She's innocent.
Also innocent. Well, Trump. Remember when she went to jail? Trump.
Well, I also remember
she's a fine lady. I've met her.
People forget about the interim period when like before like they arrested her or whatever when she was like in some random house in New England. With a younger like husband or partner who was some random like shipping company executive. It was all very. Life moves too fast sometimes, man.
Yeah.
This was like not that long ago, but it really does feel like a lifetime ago.
I know.
It's so bizarre.
And that story in particular, like, this is the thing that made me understand how boomers feel about JFK. Because, like, girl, you know, it's a fun conspiracy as a young person, but, like, I wasn't around for it. It doesn't mean as much to me. Like, it's watching the movies, it's fun. This is the thing where I'm like, he didn't kill himself, man. Like, I'm here. I know how the world works, and I totally I'm like, yes, I will be talking about this and sounding insane to my children. And you know,
every media outlet is like, no, you don't understand. He was really sad.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't get it.
Well, like, it was the first time in his life he had gone even a couple days without a child.
Yeah.
And you don't know the toll that takes on someone.
I mean, or it's like, look, like, let's say he did kill himself. Like, I've seen The Godfather.
Yeah,
like, I've seen, like, Robert Duvall talk to Frank Fantangeli and be like, you know, just like the Romans.
Yeah.
Do like the Romans, Frank.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Hillary Clinton came in a
just
trench
the idea,
coat.
like, to me, it's just, like, there's no, because it's, like, also, like, Epstein, it's, like, what it gets at to me that's even more important than, like, contesting the weird-ass circumstances in which he died, which is that it's like there's all this like reported evidence about like him having like when they talk about the Epstein files, that's just like the right-wing media people doing like their vague stupid people thing of like mushing together a bunch of real things into like this mythical like singular thing that doesn't exist. But there were a bunch of files in his house when they raided it. There was a bunch of information, a bunch of labeled tapes, things like that people have been reported about, that have been reported on, that
cool
have been sworn to. Yeah, some really
awesome paintings
of Bill Clinton.
George W. Bush with the Bill Clinton is the main one. People forget it. George Bush with the paper airplane. That's a good one too.
Also, like he was meeting with like
9/11.
He met with like Bill Burns before he became director of the CIA. I don't know. I feel like there's like a very like it's. I don't think people are wrong. Even though I guess now it feels like passé just because of like how much has happened since then.
But that's the thing. As someone who doesn't follow, I'm too fucked. I don't give a that much. I don't follow this shit. I just know as a guy alive right now who was just in broad strokes following this shit, it's so clearly a conspiracy. And I will never let go of that shit.
They put him in the federal penitentiary with a roommate.
They tried him, remember? They tried him like a week before.
Yeah, Nicholas Tartaglio,
yeah.
who was like a corrupt cop who like executed a bunch of people, like roided out of his gills.
Yes.
So now we're doubting the integrity of law enforcement.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's where I got to stop you. I back the blue, Hasan.
Yeah. Well, back Israel and back the blue. My man's going full Hollywood.
It would be like I do like the idea also of it's like like this guy. He's only like probably the most famous person who's been in like the federal system at the time of like their entry. Like maybe in like
Kismet.
5 years, decades,
Kismet.
whatever. What if we just got him like a really good friend?
Yeah. No, it was
like a really cool guy.
Total random happenstance that he was in the cell and that he tried to kill himself the first time.
Same by the way with Whitey Bulger.
Oh really?
Who was like was also killed in like weird circumstances, and it's
Wait,
it was
wasn't Whitey Bulger
on the
killed
lam
by like
forever.
a fucking QAnon guy or something? No, that was a different.
No, there was a mafia boss guy.
Yeah.
A guy on Long Island got by a random QAnon.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Sucks.
I mean, sorry to the mafia.
Sorry to the
there, but the
sorry
prayers
to
up.
We're in the
Cosa
territory.
Nostra.
We're in the mafia
we're paying our
territory,
respects as well. But there was like kind of a comedy to like somebody being like poisoned by the QAnon virus.
Yeah.
And was like,
So
who I'm gonna go kill? Like Polly's son.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wanna go pee real quick, but also I want to show Donald Trump's new response. This is very not like Donald Trump.
Okay.
And I think you'll notice really quickly when they ask him.
Ooh.
Amidst a totally separate meeting, Donald Trump gets asked about Jeffrey Epstein. Here's his response.
And released yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein. It left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second?
Oh wow.
Are you still talking
takes
about
it.
Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have
Wow.
Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time? And do you feel like answering?
I don't mind.
It's just like
answering.
I'm like in my head I'm mentally like fading in the photo of like him and Melania and him and Ghislaine like just like whoa.
It's insane. Like him attempting like, what? That's old news. That's fuck. I kind of respect him being like, let's just get ahead of this. Here's how we're dealing with this now.
I will say like he would like that's just
For sure.
like hand glove like
Yeah.
this is the most like like
You're bringing. Stop bringing up old.
yeah, like leave me alone.
Answer.
Look, we have all these dead girls. Like, hey, like, and stop. Don't ask me about the tariffs. Let's talk about the dead girls.
Incredible stuff, dude.
Lifetime TV ass president.
We
yeah,
have
it
all.
sucks.
What do you say? We have all these taxes and stuff, and you still want. And he called them a creep. Was there more to this
A
bullshit?
creep.
Some of the greatest success and also tragedy.
Yes.
Right, Texas. Yeah, we're having some of the greatest sex and also
Texas.
tragedy.
It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox,
No,
and
it's
it's been getting a lot of
sure we get a
attention
different chair? I can
because
call-
I said I was asked a
Yeah,
question
he can have the
about
hotel staff
client list,
beaten for
and
not
my
having
response
chairs.
was,
Well, could I sit on one of the
It's-
hotel staff?
Yeah, okay. You want me to call him up? Say no more.
That's f***ing awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I-
that's crazy.
I love the idea that Donald Trump, of all people, is like, I never talk about irrelevant things. Eyes on the prize, everybody.
dude.
Lock in. Like, this motherfucker will have, like, a leader of a foreign state sit there as he talks about how Joe Biden in his diapers.
Yeah, how good the fish fillet is.
About whatever the is on his mind, but God forbid someone asks about Jeffrey Epstein. He's like, whoa, guys, bridge too far.
It's
okay.
I mean,
also, by the way, like they're talking about it because the Justice Department just released a thing. His government just did a thing.
Yeah.
It's
like
not
I don't.
irrelevant.
What I.
But that's why he's.
It's also. It's like I mean, it's funny as. Like, it can't be denied, and I don't think that he's doing himself any favors.
At the end, he spent 20 minutes talking about the decorations inside the cabinet meeting. Yeah, he literally spends, like, an insane amount of time talking about the 2 polls that he put up.
Listen. Can I talk for a minute about this thing I want us to not talk about? Excuse me? Can I do that? Can I just fucking do that as the president of the goddamn United States? Yeah, it's awesome. I love living with, like, the dumbest people in charge.
Reminder that the question wasn't directed. Interrupting a question directed at someone else with, are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, is perhaps one of the worst eyebrow-raising ways Trump could... I didn't even realize it was asking someone else.
Yeah, they were asking
Pam Bondi. Who,
Sitting on my desk.
Yeah, who also Attorney General of Florida, while Jeffrey Epstein was, very much alive and operating in the state of Florida.
Hell yeah.
As well. Didn't do anything.
And and look who's right between them.
Yeah.
Little Marco.
Client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day.
Who was in the
to him being an agent,
I
have
also
no
like
knowledge
this now.
about that. We can get back to you on that.
If you're asking questions, it's because you want child porn released.
Yeah.
You pervs.
It's like, it's like...
Yeah, I bet you want to see it. That's what it is. It's like, no, dude.
Is it heads of state doing in the child porn? Like, that's the question.
I mean, the way they're going about this also definitely confirms that it is heads of state.
For sure.
Where they're like... I jokingly used to say, like, well, they worked really hard on it. You know what I mean? The intelligence community worked really hard to do this blackmail, pedophilia operation. They're not going to just, like, leak it for no reason. You know what I mean?
Also, like, look, like, if it turns out that, like, a bunch of the people in it are, like, maybe the leaders of, like, a foreign nation currently engaged in a genocide that we're supporting, then, like, maybe that's not for the best.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who can say?
Well, isn't the, like... people, he worked for the Mossad or whatever, which is so funny if it ended up being, if the people he was working for were like, you know what, I'm just going to go fuck a couple kids. Even though this is what we used to blackmail other people. I just can't help myself. I'm going to go over.
Well, I think
it's right there.
It is definitely, to me, a case of, like, and it is kind of like a principle in espionage, which is like, prove to me you're not a pussy. Like, have sex with this child.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's the kingpin of that. That's why he's thus the most untrustworthy guy of all time.
Yeah.
I think about it, and it's like, in my mind, the only guy who's not implicated in this is Netanyahu, because, like, they just couldn't handle how his vibes were, so they never invited him to the parties.
Yeah.
Also, he's, like, kind of domed by his wife in a very entertaining way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he gets pegged?
So his wife is a flight attendant who, like, just was, like, determined, like, I'm gonna marry you, and then and she's, like, famous for, like, abusing house staff, like, it's a tabloid fixture thing. They're, like,
That's
crazy corrupt.
They're bad. She's a bad person.
Yeah,
shocking. Family.
But also, one of the funniest things that they do is they bring laundry every time to the White House. Have you heard about this?
What?
It sounds like an anti-Semitic canard.
They do laundry at the White House?
They bring their dirty laundry to the White House every time.
What? What do you mean? Who told you that?
It was in, I think, like, a Politico story.
Yeah.
It was somewhere. But it was reported. Like,
That's
it's not...
awesome.
It's unfortunately not something that, like, David Duke made up.
Yeah.
I really, like, I'm kind of pissed about that.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, this is from The Guardian. Like, that's how you know this shit is, like... It's not, like, even New York Post. It's
a
The
lot
Guardian.
of this also, it's, like, kind of also... It points to something else about these two, which is that, like, they own a lot of property. Or even if they don't own it, like... Essentially, like, their son, like, their fail son, was just, like, he was in Miami and forever.
Yeah, Netanyahu is from, like, Philly, the Philly suburbs.
Yeah, like, they spend a lot of time outside of it, of, like, Israel, and are, like...
What's his real name? He changed his name to Netanyahu. It's like
there's
some regular ass...
Malinowski,
My favorite Netanyahu fact, he likes to dip cigars in Cointreau.
What?
What's Cointreau?
liquor.
Like, are they cigar? Like,
I don't know. I read it. I think it was in that
That's so
detail is
weird.
from BB by Anshel Pfeffer, if I'm not mistaken. It's from that book is where I got that one.
Interesting.
But like I've like thought about that because like that's insane.
Why? To make his own flavored cigars?
I
To
think
make his own like cigarillos?
No, because he's a Philly boy. He wants black and milds.
Yeah.
But he's too
Dutch
highbrow.
masters.
There's
He's too
no
highbrow
black
for the
and-
black and mild.
We can't get the technology in Israel. Gazans, they're no Philly blunts.
That pisses him off. That is gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, not a good guy when you think about it. But there was also there is a lot of internal strife amongst like the conspiracy right though currently about this situation, because this is something that they stake their reputation on, right? Like the idea that it's like only Hillary Clinton was doing pedophilia,
Right,
and Bill Clinton, which by the way they definitely were,
Yeah, Bill
allegedly.
was on there.
Not somebody who's going to get up every day.
Hey, Hillary, why'd your husband visit Epstein Island 26 times?
Is this really necessary?
Yeah.
Trump and Bill were hanging out, having fish fillets on the way.
Yeah. So now there's like a lot of animosity growing against these guys because this is the one thing that they do actually care about. So Alex Jones is on like a total copium trip.
Oh, it's awesome. It's special.
What's he up to?
Yesterday, Alex Jones came out and did one of his like fat guy in the car videos, and he almost cried. He was on the verge of tears, saying that he believes Donald Trump is doing this because he's blackmailing the blackmailers.
He's a white hat.
He now has the blackmail, the pedophilia blackmail, and he's using it against the deep state.
We now just have Q out in the open. That's all this is. It's literally just like, all right, so Q used to have like this pretense of like, like there's like this guy leaving messages on 4chan or whatever. Now, like, you can just have it under your own name and be like, oh yeah, Donald Trump is white hatting it now, and that's like part of the party line. Like that's like within a standard deviation of like what like the Republican like party itself is saying.
Oh my God. Okay, so Gunther Eagleman. He's like one of these like right-wing Twitter guys.
Is he a
Gunther
Nazi? It's a
Eagleman.
Nazi
I guess
name.
I'm blocked by him.
Oh, he looks.
This guy.
Is he Jewish? He looks Jew. Is he from New
his
York?
His name is Gunther. His name is Gunther Eagleman. Okay, but in any case, he says, "I would have never thought our government would just allow people to rape children on Epstein's island and just let it slide. It's not okay." To which immediately the blue check marks are like, "Are you really gonna let Epstein be the deal breaker for Trump for you?
Well,
Then why do you hate Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
Why do you hate Bill Clinton?"
There was a tweet going around I saw that was like one guy like was going on and like he had like he wrote a whole fucking essay as blue checks do, and at the end of it he was like, just move on.
Yeah. He was like,
Move on is
Move
awesome.
on.
He was
Move
saying-
on is so good.
He was saying like, we all know he's a little bit of a pedophile.
Look, it's okay. Look, it's not perfect that he's a bit of a pedophile.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. Is
That
what
tweet
they
was
said.
so good.
And then Vincent, so just how would you prosecute if the evidence was destroyed by raising DC? And then the funniest response, oh no, it's not a response, it's Elon Musk. Never mind.
It's an ad.
The Elon Musk doing an ad for his own tweet on his own website. They arrested and killed Peanut, but have not even tried to file charges against anyone on the Epstein client list. Government is deeply broken. He thought this was a banger that he made an ad out of it. Dude.
I hate him so much, dude.
Who the is Peanut?
There was a one.
hate him.
He
Who's
was some
Peanut?
OnlyFans guy who had a squirrel that like animal services like
Right before
came
the
and-
election, and it was like a right-wing meme about how
that
like
thing?
like libs are gonna kill if you have like a squirrel.
I do remember that. But
Which,
it's-
by the way, is like crazy now that like this is like the discourse, like again as like ice guys. Who were the people in LA today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday in the park.
The military.
There's
There was I think
the
some
National
Marines.
Guard. That was
The
it.
National Guard. Yeah, they were
Peanut,
doing a
dude,
show
that's-
of force.
So he's literally just like re-microwaving memes from before the election.
What? Oh, Ben Shapiro believes Epstein killed himself, didn't run a blackmail operation.
Wait, sorry, hold on.
Blackmail.
Blackmail, yeah.
Not the smartest guys.
Oh my God.
Not the smartest guys. I mean,
I have a wild cherry Pepsi in my bag.
Ooh.
hedged their bets. People who never at any point suggested to you that they don't have data to back up the speculation, that the speculation was in and of itself
So gay, man.
the conclusion that if you speculate without evidence, that amounts to an actual conclusion to an investigation, they're going to be very upset today because it turns out that the DOJ and the FBI have concluded that Epstein didn't have a client list and died by suicide. According
Okay.
okay.
Nothing to see here. I guess now we trust the government. I don't understand.
Well, isn't he getting kind of worked
Why does he look
over
like
by-
he's in a
done.
motherfucking
Yeah.
Yankee Candle commercial?
He's partially done because like people. Well, he's done because he's Jewish.
Yeah.
First of all, they're like, I don't think people understand how much like the independent media side of right-wing news and broadcasting has moved on from like.
No, they're
the
purely
old-
and openly anti-Semitic.
Yeah. They went from like, if you're under the age of like 40 and you're right wing, you're probably a vicious anti-Semite.
It's crazy.
So across the board, they're like, small hat guy defending Israel again. Like that's
Yeah.
his entire comment section is like that. And then also. Part of that is because like I think Asmongold just like took over that space for him.
That's
people were just
crazy,
like,
isn't
I don't
it?
want this like nerdy. I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
like
yeah.
a guy that looks like me,
Right.
that I
A
can
cool
smell,
guy like
smell,
Asmongold.
smell through the camera, and not this like nerdy.
That actually is like why people don't understand this. Everybody's like, "Wow, how did Asmongold, the most like beautiful, wonderful guy of all time, become like this like major internet sensation?" What they don't understand
There's a lot of guys like that.
No, is that he did smell through the screen, which nobody ever did before, and that's like a like breakthrough in the medium.
Yeah.
That like your lazy ass could learn a
Yeah.
thing
Guys,
or two.
you don't have to be
Olfactory.
like that,
You can
guys.
smell his ass.
You don't have to be
That's,
like that. I
like,
mean, yeah.
That should be applauded.
Olfactory is a new sensation for a lot of people.
Listen,
But
your
Asmongold
agent, your
doesn't get-
management's going to be calling you about this and being like, "Why aren't you up on this like
Yeah.
tomorrow?"
Does Asmongold get pussy, or there are disgusting whores that him?
There are, I think, at a certain point, there were women that had sex with him. I don't know. I don't know what he's up to in his private life.
That's just not
any
the
longer.
way. That's just not the way, fellas. Like if you're an incel out there, don't go down that route.
What do you?
Do not go the Asmongold route, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't-
they're already there.
You gotta get out. You gotta
Get out of the house, dude.
You gotta get out.
Get out of the house, even if it's like really hot out right now. It is. It's actually good for you. Sweat it out.
Cut your hair. It'll be fine, man. Take a shower.
a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. Now, again,
Cetaphil.
does this
face
put to
wash.
bed like all inquiries? Of course not. People can continue to speculate as much as they want. And I think there's still open questions here regarding how did Epstein make his money?
Sure.
But that's a very serious open question. The speculation for a
only
long
thing.
time
But
was
it's
he made
not
his money from
anything
blackmail.
illicit.
But the DOJ and the FBI, again, run by people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel.
Yeah, saying I love that these guys think that anyone gives a
What's up
about
with his
Dan
eyebrows?
Bongino
I know, they're
or
thick as
Kash
fuck.
Patel.
Yeah, it's like he's like I need my shoe polish.
Eyebrows thicker than his sister's titties, if you ask me. What's up with her? She's still putting out content? Let's react to his sister.
Classically Abby.
Oh, dude. I mean, she's the GOAT.
Yeah.
She's the method. She was so much the GOAT that, like, they literally found Fem Shapiro in a vat and then made her.
I know. What's up with that girl?
um,
Why, how is she? She's exactly like Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, but she's like, she
I
was
kinda-
popping off, and
is
she
she
left.
st-
She left the Daily Wire after
Is-
she started popping off. What's her Brett Cooper?
Brett, a bitch named Brett. That's interesting.
That's a woman's name.
That's Brett. Men's
Wow,
name on a
she
woman.
literally looks like sexy Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, I agree. Like she does. She looks like Ben Shapiro
probably
went through an
think that
AI
you know the
filter.
story.
Holy shit, dude. What the?
But she's
Whoa,
kinda
whoa,
killing
whoa,
it.
whoa, 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 whoa!
Look at
What's
these
that?
dudes.
What's the gay flag over Anne Frank?
Oh, that's awesome.
Elon's trans child fights Trump with drag, and Anne Frank was a.
Lesbian? What?
Awesome.
I mean, this
AI
is.
wife? Question mark. Oh, so she's just doing the same shit.
Yeah,
as
yeah. The
everybody.
feminist attorney against Sabrina Carpenter. Like, so she does a lot of like pop culture stuff for the girly pops. But
gotcha.
let's hear what
you
Ben
wanna-
Shapiro
you
has
still
to
wanna-
say.
Pam Bondi are telling
yeah.
you. They are.
I'm
I'm not telling
very
you. They're
hungry,
telling you.
actually.
People who are members of the Trump administration, people you elected and put into these positions
I
to get you
told-
the
I
truth
told
on this
Eric to
matter,
pull up his
are telling
stats.
you
Okay.
that he didn't, in fact, he was not murdered. He did not keep a client list, and he did not blackmail powerful figures. Okay, right? That is the thing that they are saying. Not I. They are saying this.
So do you believe
If you're willing to throw that over and claim they're lying, then I'd like to see you present your evidence that they are in fact lying. Because I know Dan. I don't think that Dan Bongino is lying to me. I know Cash Patel a little bit. I don't think Cash Patel is lying to me.
His argument
I don't think these people are lying to
him,
me.
he's not lying.
Which means that if somebody else
incredible.
continues to claim that they're lying, they ought to provide their evidence.
Well, what's your evidence, fucker?
And now is the point at
Yeah,
which
I don't
the
know.
facts on the ground have changed. And so either you ought to shift your opinion based on the facts that have now emerged, or you ought to acknowledge that this was never a fact-based inquiry in the first place.
Yeah, this is very convincing.
This was never a fact-based
It's just
inquiry.
so
These
funny.
Debate club losers, dude. Him and Jordan Peterson, it's like, just by defining shit, they think they sound smart.
I mean, but it's also like what I've never been able to wrap my head around with him specifically is like, he sucks, dude. He's like, who's persuaded by this?
Well,
who gets this? Like, I don't know. It's like, you are like, that is like as much of like a like test of humanity is like the Voight-Kampff test from Blade Runner. Like, your emotional response to that guy.
I just love that there's no more motion for these guys though. Like the conservative movement online and independent spheres had this moment of like,
I'm sorry, you doubt that the Daily Wire will rise from the ashes like a phoenix from its recent
I do doubt
economic struggles?
Even with all of the Wilkes money that they can get from the oil and gas industry, I do not believe that there is any motion for them any longer, no more future for them. But also, what I was going to say is they like the problem that they are experiencing is that this is a more holistic issue within the audience. There's no more market for like nerdy intellectual conspiracy or not nerdy intellectual conservative guys. There's just no more market for that. They just want like an Andrew Tate style guy,
race war,
or they want race war guys or like anti-Semites who are trafficking in conspiracy theories, things like that.
Also a lifestyle thing. I think one other piece of this I was thinking about it is that like the discrete the separate like politics influencers as like its own like sphere or whatever, like that doesn't kind of hold anymore. Like now it's also like a life, like you're like you are an avatar of like a lifestyle.
One-stop shop thing.
Exactly.
And so that's why so all these podcasters are getting into becoming more political, is that like expressly political, is that they see it as where the market is going as an entertainer. Like now an entertainer has to be one or the other, which, sucks dick. I hate that shit. But like that makes so much sense. It's a guy that they
it'll
like
eventually
go
go away.
Weights, because like they follow his, they follow every aspect of it.
And also like we live in like a fallen, stupid world, and like part of like what this kind of media, the structure of like media that we have is really good at broadcasting people as like, even if they don't say it as such, like this is a role model. This is a role model. Be like this person. Be like this person. Like people call it parasocial and stuff or whatever. Of course, but, like you could use your label for it. But there is to me like that kind of piece of it is sort of like like a guy like Ben Shapiro, he doesn't really offer much outside of this specific thing that you were saying. Like
he makes you feel smart if you want to like convince your friends. If you can try to like repeat what his talking points are, but there is no market for that anymore on the right. I don't think like they don't give a. They're living in a reality. They would rather live in an alternative reality where they're just like completely hallucinating.
Yeah, it's not about like nerdily knowing facts.
Yeah,
it's about just saying whatever you want to be true.
Yeah,
is true.
Get owned, lib. Yeah. Like there's people that think like Kilmar Burger Garcia had the MS-13 tatted up on his knuckles. You know what I mean? Like that is a totally separate plane of existence. But let's hear what Alex Jones had to say in his Cope sesh about.
Now taking questions from the press, and Trump just went off, basically blew up at a reporter for bringing up the Epstein
Dude, I haven't seen
whitewash
fully. He's got
project.
Like a evil goatee and he's bald.
And that's what it is.
That's a cool new look.
And I've told everybody this is going to be
shredded. Yeah, he's like it's like Don Logan from Sexy Beast a bit.
He looks like big. Exactly.
He's getting shredded too.
Dude, this is so weird. What happened to the flow? What happened to the hair? It's gone.
Ozempic Jones, baby. I think he's like doing TRT too. Probably that's why his hair is just gone.
I can't wait. He
also kind of looks like Michael Chiklis from The Shield.
Yes. That's a cool little. That's a cool little pause. Like he looks.
Also,
cute.
it looks like he's been in his eyes. Like the skin around his eyes looks paler than the rest of him.
Yeah. He looks weird.
Yeah, because he's out in the sun, getting his daylight, getting his sunlight. It's good for the skin. I'm sun tanning my asshole.
huge yesterday, and the Democrats are seizing it now because you've got
what?
You want to order the thing?
Cash Patel and Bondi and all of them saying, we raided the other officers of the FBI.
Oh, no, we'll do the thing. Okay, I got it.
Wait. See, Stavros is locked in. He's not worried about hunger right now.
I'm locked in, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta see.
He
got
wants
sexy
to see,
Alex Jones.
He wants to see what sexy Alex Jones
I'm gonna go home.
Say.
I'm gonna make myself. I'm on a little bit of a. I'm trying to be like sexy Alex Jones.
Oh, fun.
I'm gonna make me a Greek yogurt pizza. You can make. Listen, folks. Here's a little fitness tip. Flour and Greek yogurt together makes a great healthy pizza crust. You throw a little marinara on that bitch, some fat-free cheese, some turkey pepperonis.
Are you sure you don't want food? I'm gonna order food.
No, I don't.
You couldn't come up with a plan to cover this up and have it blow up bigger. If you're going to cover it up, you just shut up about it and say, we're investigating. But no.
This is the famous ear thing, saying that this is...
So
this is
I want Trump to succeed. I've investigated this, and the victims, over a dozen of them, that are confirmed victims of Epstein, who fingered Bill Clinton and all of them, said, no, we never saw Trump at the island. We never saw him at Zorro Ranch. We never saw him.
He just, bro.
I like the we there is doing a lot, I will say.
He is doing he's doing the most, dude.
Yeah. What's his argument is that
he basically summarized it yesterday where he said, like, everybody knows Trump was not involved in Jeffrey Epstein at all. All the other pedophiles said that Trump wasn't involved in the sex parties. Like, and basically his like last ditch defense here is to claim that Trump is blackmailing the blackmailers with the pedophile blackmail to like attack the deep state.
It's just QAnon shit. It's just that like Trump is like wait for it, like the storm is whatever.
Storm is still coming.
Yeah, all that bullshit. Like it's the same. I just don't think anybody's buying it. I mean, like, I think people who are plugged into this ecosystem...
he's even half-hearted.
No, totally. People are plugged into this stuff because it's, like, entertainment to them.